Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here at the Precious Metal Summit Conference in Zurich. And it's my honor and pleasure to talk now to Taj Singh, the CEO of First Nordic Metals. Taj, we know each other a long time. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Very happy that you are now in your new or latest venture, I would say, First Nordic Metals. So it looks like it's going very well, because I just saw in the news you have like a $10 million plus dollar bought deal with Haywood.
Correct.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's basically been in this position for about a year now, and it's a transformation. There was a merger of two companies, as you know, Goldline and Barcelli Minerals. Mm-hmm. We were able to get very good kind of investor engagement back into the story, that we put a new package together, one of the largest land packages in Europe, but definitely the largest land package in Sweden. Mm-hmm. I also have a very interesting project in Finland, and yeah, it's been a great time. We've been getting a lot of exposure on the story, working hard at getting the share price up, and then being able to do a financing here that puts us in an amazing position, basically funded for 18 months to 2 years to aggressively drill a prolific gold belt.
Okay, super. So we're talking about the gold belt. You said already Sweden and Finland. Let's start with Sweden, because it looks like a beautiful line of project, what I saw on the map. Correct. That's fantastic. Honestly, I cannot say the names of the projects to say them correctly. That is hefty for me. But maybe you can allude a little bit more onto that. What is planned for 2025? Now you have, as you said, you have the money. So what's going on?
Yeah, listen, the use of proceeds for this financing, which the books were closed within the same day pretty much as we announced the deal. It was a bought deal, obviously, and we're through the $10 million. We're going to be at 11.5 roughly. So we use the over allotment. But these funds now put us in a great position to do what should have been done a long time ago on this belt, is to explore it properly. The targets have already been identified. We have 3 very interesting targets. Obviously, our flagship is the Barcelli project, which is a joint venture with Agnico. They're the operators. But we now are going to give the love and attention to the projects that we 100% own, that we believe are Barcelli lookalikes, and they just need to be tested. And so we have 3 of them on the Powbacken project. They're 2 very large multi-kilometric targets. And then in the north of Barcelli is the Storjukten project. There's also a very interesting target there. So at least 3, hopefully even more, as we develop new targets with our other work through geophysics and geochemistry, and we're going to plan to drill them. Of course, some you might put 5,000 meters here, 7,000 here, 10,000. So there's room to move, but now I have an allotment of at least 35,000 meters at least, where I can really test these targets and advance them forward.
Okay, super. Any targets you say, there is more to focus on it?
I would say that the one that's most advanced is at the Powbacken project. The target is called AIDA. There's already been drilling done on it that looks very similar to what we saw in the early days of Barcelli. Very good grades. The discovery hole was close to 23 meters of 2.5 grams per ton, just below surface. Just hasn't been followed up on. Only 1,100 meters done, 6 holes. Every hole that's been drilled hit. Gold mineralization there. It just really hasn't been followed up on. So it's exciting position for us now to be able to say, okay, now this 4-kilometer structure, let's really test it and see what's there.
Super. When can we expect maybe a first resource estimate, or let's say update?
We're actually already drilling. We're doing base of till drilling. So as you know, in the Nordics, everything's covered by a glacial till, 3, 4, 5 meters. So you have to drill below that till and into the bedrock. So on the 3 targets, we plan to put anywhere between 100 to 150 holes on each of them. These are cheap holes, $1,000 holes, but it's to help you define where best place is to start your diamond drilling. And so we'll be doing 150 or so holes on each of those. So probably over the next 3-4 months, you'll be getting 400 or 500 holes worth of data, gold values, which is going to be really good, a very important catalyst for us. And then we plan in Q1 to start the diamond drilling of each of the projects sequentially throughout the year.
Okay, super. And what's going on in Finland? Because that's one project, I think.
Correct, yeah. So Finland is an entire gold belt as well, a greenstone belt, called the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. And there's a deposit called the Kylmäkangas deposit. We have just acquired that, finished acquiring it over the summer from Agnico Eagle. They became a shareholder as part of that deal, 13.3% at the company level. And that's an Agnico discovery, currently a resource of a little over 300,000 ounces, but it is one of the highest grade gold deposits in Finland today. The indicated grade is close to 5 grams per ton.
Oh, nice.
Gold equivalent. It's gold and silver, mostly gold, a little bit of silver. And it just, again, is another project that has only gotten about 15,000 meters or so of drilling in the main area, right? And you already have 300,000 ounces. So we plan, we'll plan through the year what we want to do with that, but we think there's a lot of potential for that to move towards a meaningful resource as we continue to drill it. This use of proceeds is really going to focus on Sweden, but as we continue we've obviously allocated some buffer in there for doing some other drilling, and as we move through the year, I think we may be able to move on to that as well.
Okay, super. How far is it away, that project in Finland, from the Kittilä mine from Agnico?
It's about 200 kilometers south.
Okay.
150 to 200 kilometers
so
south.
it would not make sense to work together.
No, they're operating.
In a future scenario.
They're operating, they're big. No, it's this one is standalone, but there's a lot of other mines. There's several base metal mines, a couple of precious metal mines too, but it's about 150 kilometers south of that Kittilä, Rupert area.
Okay, good. Yeah. You said already Agnico Eagle is a 13.3% shareholder. Who else is in the book?
So in our existing shareholders, there was several large U.S.-based shareholders out of New York. And in this last round, we were able to bring in several new institutions, which we'll talk about more as we close the deal. But we definitely, there's been an aim of the company that was primarily used to be retail-based as we were smaller to now move to more an institutional base. Of course, the retail is important to us, but we've made it an important goal to start bringing in more institutions. We focused on Europe a lot. We feel like we're getting a lot of traction here because Europe likes to support European projects, which is amazing.
It makes sense.
Another important thing that ties in with that is we are doing a Swedish listing on the NASDAQ First North, and that should happen within January or so. We're almost there. We were just in Stockholm on Friday at the NASDAQ, beautiful facility, and just finalizing some things and doing some final kind of interviews. And so we will be listed there. So there's a big push for us to add a lot of European institutions into the registry as we get bigger.
Okay, super, perfect. I would say you have a great game plan. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And one last question. I saw in your presentation that you had comparisons with Abitibi Gold Belt, with those large mines which are there since decades, I would say. So is that also something like you can really compare yourself now with the beginning to those large mines?
Well, this is the whole part of the thesis. That's a great point. We really believe we have first mover status on a greenstone belt, so similar rocks, similar age as to what you see in the Abitibi, which is a prolific greenstone belt region of the world where you have prolific gold deposits. We think that this part of Europe is probably 75 or 80 years behind the exploration and development of other greenstone belts in the world. We think it's one of the last greenstone belts that really hasn't seen significant modern exploration. And if you look at we have 100 kilometers of strike on our belt that we are the sole owner of, other than the JV, which is a few kilometers with Agnico, but we're the 100% owner. If you take that same 100 kilometers in the Abitibi in Quebec or Ontario, you have over 100 million ounces of historical production. Total current resource is probably close to that as well. Like it's showing you, the advantage of being a first mover, and the fact that if you took that in some other location in the world, you'd have 10, 15 companies on it, and we have the advantage of being the only company now. So I think it puts us in a really good position.
Fantastic. Super. Taj, thank you very much. I have pretty much the feeling that we talk a lot more in the future here because really the drills are turning now, and I would say hit every hole.
Let's go.
Super. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Super. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Taj Singh, the CEO of First Nordic Metals. And you heard it. This is a real big thing here with a lot of future potential. And geology-wise, it is a greenstone belt like the Abitibi belt, for example. And they are the first mover, as he alluded to. And that is fantastic because now they have the time, they have the money, very important, to really go forward and hit it hard. So the drills are turning. Stay tuned for a lot of news, and I think you really should check out this wonderful company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.